I never drink any alcohol before leaving Italy.
Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders, and local legends that are shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Raffaele Martinelli.
That's amazing. First of all, great pronunciation, James. That was a beautiful introduction.
I've had a great coach for the last 5 minutes to absolutely nail that. Raffaele, for those of us who don't know you, who are you and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford?
So yeah, as you said perfectly, my name is Raffaele Martinelli and I am I'm a sommelier. I'm a certified sommelier. One of those people that have a funny job, you know? My job is to taste and drink wine, but not only. I'm also the owner and the founder of the company called Smile and Wines, which we deal with a business, hospitality business consultancy. So we help business to develop incredible wine menu, as we did with several of the location in our beautiful town, Bishop Stortford. And at the same time, we help them to train the staff and create unforgettable experience for the guests that they choose to visit those restaurants. With my company, I lately found that also something incredibly interesting from my point of view and for the feedback that I received until now, which is called Social Blind Wine Tasting, which is a free event. I know, it already sounds a little bit funny, but yeah, it's a free event. So we charge no money and it's basically just to help people to gather together, socialize, meet new people whenever it's possible, learn a little bit about wine because it never hurts, and also give it a chance to local businesses to advertise themselves to a new crowd. People that possibly they never been there, they get a chance to visit the restaurant through the event that is made for free and learn a little bit more about our community.
Fantastic. You sound very busy with all of this. I'm really interested. How did you start to become a sommelier? Did you work in hospitality and move across, or were you always interested in wine?
No, funny enough because I'm Italian, but basically I never drink any alcohol before leaving Italy. So I left Italy when I turned 18, literally 4 days after I turned 18. And my first experience was in London, where I started working this gastropub in Chelsea. That was fantastic. Beautiful people working there. We had an astonishing team. But what made me fall in love with wine, as you asked, is actually one of the people working with us, which was the supervisor. This gentleman was called James Dangerfield. A name that would stay with me for the rest of my life, to be honest. Dangerfield, what a great surname. And yeah, so basically the way he was talking about wine made me think that maybe I wanted to be more than just a food runner. Never worked in hospitality before to come in UK. So it was a whole new beginning, something completely new, never touched by me before. I was in the States when I was in Italy. So that was very, very different. But the way he was talking about wine to people, the way he was describing him, the most important, the way he was talking about the story behind the label is what made me fall in love with wine. When I was listening to the guy, I was like, you know what? I want to do exactly the same. Okay, it's very funny to carry plates around, bring them to the table, job done. No pressure, no need to share any knowledge, no need to spend too long at the table having a chat. But then I discovered what hospitality actually is. Hospitality is giving an experience to the guest. It's not just food supplying, not just food delivering. When a guest sits at the table and you are the person taking care of them, you need to give them a little bit more. You know, you need to give them that excitement, the story. You need to give them a reason to make not only the money, because the money, yes, is important, but you need to make their time worth it. And that's what hospitality is. When people come to your restaurant and they are happy of spending time in there, plus the money, whenever it is the case. So this gentleman was working with us in Chelsea, and then I asked him, I was like, James, how can I learn a little bit more about wine? And he pointed at me to this course in England that is called WSET, so Wine and Spirit Education. So I started the level 1, and then a year went through when I changed different position in hospitality. So literally I grow as from food runner, I became a waiter for private events. When I was doing that, I was studying wine at the same time. Then for a reason or another, I actually had to leave UK after 1 year over there. And I started to travel around Europe, and I thought, okay, I want to visit more cities, but I also want to keep learning about wine. because I think that's something very fascinating. It became even more fascinating when drinking wine was an experience that I used to enjoy even more. As I said before, I never touched any alcohol before leaving Italy. So it was very funny to get into wine in a country that was not even mine, with a language that wasn't mine. So everything was completely new. But I loved it. I completely fell in love with it. So I actually started to travel around Europe. I worked in Belgium, in Malta. I ended up working in Rome as well for a little while. And in all these stops, while I was working and improving my skills in hospitality, I also got the chance to learn a little bit more about wine. So following different courses in different languages. And that's when I thought that was a perfect time to supply the real experience. Now that my baggage of knowledge was ready, I came back to UK, and funny enough, I discovered Bishop Stortford.
What a place.
What a place! I mean, I could have gone everywhere, but when I found Bishop Stortford, somehow a sparkle started inside me, and I went like, okay, I think we can do something amazing. Let me be fully honest. Like when I arrived to Stortford, the hospitality industry was a bit funny. I've been traveling around. I love eating out. Like it's an habit for me. Like I need to eat at least once a week in a restaurant. So I love to experience hospitality from different places. And I'm not talking only high-end restaurant, even gastropubs, just a fish and chips. Sometimes I love a good fish and chips. And so, yeah, when I arrived to Stortford, I realized that the situation was what it was. And I was like, I think that's a great opportunity for me. Let me try to help those restaurants to create that unforgettable experience I was talking about before for the guests that they definitely deserve, because hospitality in Stortford is what's the best word? Highly demanding. People, They know what they're doing here. So you need to supply the right thing. You cannot just give them food in the plate. It's not fair. So that's what happened. I literally find the first restaurant and I explode.
Fantastic. And you work with different restaurants, don't you, in Stortford, or you have worked with different restaurants to help create their wine menu? Is that how you would describe it?
That's correct. So basically, to point the first one actually I collaborated with was Pircio restaurant. I say Pircio because that's the way people pronounce it over there, which is funny. The first one was a Pircio, which when I joined them, they had a menu of 7 red and 5 white. And the place was extremely busy, beautiful location. I was like, why would you supply such a little offer? Your food, your menu is massive. You do some good stuff. Let's make some good selection of wine as well. But I believe the owner was a little bit skeptic about it. He was like, I'm not sure that's something my restaurant need or not. So I made a sort of a deal with him. And after I won the bet, he was convinced by my skills and he went like, okay, you know what? You do the wine menu for us. And we pushed it to another level. I mean, the offer as it is right now, I think they still use the same menu that I did for them. The offer is pretty good. Like every wine really match the food in the way that if someone want to have a gastronomic experience, a culinary experience, that's a good place where to go. If obviously the staff would recommend you the best pairing to make sure that the wine and the food, they work in perfectly harmony. And talking about the same company, of course, as you possibly are aware, the owners are also the owners of Ronnie's, Number 14, and was Rindio, the coffee shop. So I'm the person behind all those menus.
And now you're really excited about the blind wine tasting work that you're doing. I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea. Can you talk me through it as though I've not been to one? So I'm walking through the door. What am I walking into?
Well, first of all, I'm very upset about the fact that you didn't join us yet. That's unacceptable. No, I'm just joking. I'm sure you get the time at some point. I know you are an extremely busy man as well. So that's fine for now. Yes, social blind wine tasting. I think first of all, I would like to say that it's something a town like Stortford would definitely need. So basically what it is, we allow people to book their space through Eventbrite, or the platform where you can buy the tickets. As I mentioned before, the tickets are completely for free. You book your spot. Normally we host about 16 to 20 people at the same time. And those are normally people that they don't know each other. It's a social event. So basically people, they come together, as I mentioned before, just to socialize, meet their neighbors, talk about them a little bit sometime, because every night there's a theme. So let's say one night you bring a wine with a story, which was actually one of the most successful one we had, because everybody brought a bottle of wine that reminded them something. And that they had the chance to talk to other people, which they never met before in their life, about their experience and their life in general. Also, let me go through step by step. So basically, how does it work? Everybody brings a bottle of wine, okay, that follow the theme of the night. But the bottle of wine is fully covered. So nobody knows actually what wine is. You can choose a sparkling, red, rosé, or white. Someone brought a sweet wine as well, actually, an astonishing sweet wine. So everybody brings the bottle. The bottle, they go on the counter. They are fully covered and they have a number allocated to the person who brought the bottle. So we all get the chance to taste these wines together. And you get a little, let me try to get this word properly because I always mess it up. You have a little sheet, a little sheet, a piece of paper. Yeah, so basically on the piece of paper, what you have to try to do in a very no stress environment and no judgmental environment, you need to try to guess the flavor on the nose, the flavor on the palate. So if you get, I don't know, flowers, spices, smokiness, if you get pineapple, peach, or apricot. And then I don't really ask much more. I don't say you need to tell me the country or the grape. What we try to do, we try to guess the price of the bottle without knowing what the bottle is. Mm-hmm. So some people will come up like, I would definitely pay about £20 for this bottle of wine on a shelf. And then it's a £6 bottle of Coduron from Aldi. And they go like, what? Like I would have paid £20 for it. And that makes the people discover their new favorite wine. They also understand that wine is not about price. Wine is very much about what you like. It's all about your palate. You may enjoy a bottle of £4 bottle wine and nobody should blame you for that. There is nothing wrong. Unless it's Blue Nun. But that's another story. That's in the past.
So how often do you run the social blind wine tastings?
So we started with once a month.
Yeah.
And I was pleased to be hosted by Paisa Wine Bar, which they decided to be the first sponsor of the event. So they allow me to have the location in a day that obviously they're close. It's a win-win. Obviously from both the sides, as you can imagine. But the demand went too high. So from the beginning of this year, we are doing twice a month.
Fantastic.
We have the next date on the 19th of January. Then we have the 26th. And I had a waiting list too long, so I had to launch one date in February as well.
Brilliant. And so have you got a website set up for that as well, haven't you?
That's right.
Do you want to say the website out loud?
Well, it's smileandwines.com. So it's simple as that. But in the website, you find basically all the services that Smile and Wines, myself, I offer for hospitality. So I'll mention them for you. And that will be the social blind wine tasting, of course, hospitality consulting. Then we also do private wine tasting. So basically, that's something I've been doing for the last 2 years. I come to your more comfortable location. I bring the wines, if necessary, food, or a private chef if needed. And we create one of the greatest events that you ever been at. It's a lot of fun. It's bringing the wine to a level that is for everyone, as it should be. Like, there should not be pressure for wine. Wine is fun. You drink and laugh. You drink in Italy. I love to say, in Italy, we drink wine to celebrate life. And I made this joke several times in England. People, they drink wine to forget about life, which is still a funny reason. But there is still a reason, like drinking wine is joyful. It is about being happy. And the wine tasting that we do at home, they are about fun. So you are there, you are tasting wine, you have a little pairing in terms of food, and we talk it in the most interactive and energetic and light way as possible. There is no pressure for it. Then there are 2 more services, which I think I mentioned, business consulting, the private wine tasting, the social blind wine tasting, and the last one is seller consulting. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of people in Stortford which they are big wine lovers and hospitality lovers in general. So what I help them to do, I help them to create an asset whenever they have a cellar or a place where to store the wine, an asset that can then increase in value for them to then resell those wines in case they want to. Or in the best case scenario, I pick bottle of wine that they can have in the cellar for the best occasions to then open and drink with their friends or family.
It's such a great service to have in Bishop Stortford. It's
Thank
definitely
you.
on the kind of decadent side of life. And I'm sure there's people out there that are enjoying all of that. And it's so incredible to hear from you about what you're doing and the energy that's coming through from Raffaele. So delighted to have you on the show and to shine a light on everything that you're doing. Whenever your next events are, we'll put those in the show notes, and also we'll share those on the Facebook channel as well. So if anybody is interested in going along to one of the blind tastings, sounds an incredible event. I will try and make it. My main excuse is 2 small boys, and I've got another one on the way in a few weeks. So my evenings are quite busy at the moment, as you can imagine.
Should we do I Come to You?
Sure. My wife will be delighted.
Yeah, as you understand, it's one of the services. So I'll be very happy to do that too, though.
Exactly. We'll do that. All right. Are you ready for some Stortford Spotlight questions?
I love them.
This episode is brought to you by It's a Wash Thing. They're a local home-based laundry service here in Bishop Stortford for busy families who just want one less thing to think about. Free pickup and delivery, eco and non-bio washes, and everything comes back clean, folded, and actually sorted properly. If laundry is one of those jobs that quietly drains your energy, It's a Wash Thing has you covered. Search It's a Wash Thing on Facebook or check the show notes. Right, back to the show. Fantastic. These are 3 fast questions that we ask every guest that comes onto the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast. First question. If you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say and who needs to hear it the most?
The sentence I will put is look after each other. Look after each other. Having this sentence under your eyes every time you walk through Jackson Square would be nice. Obviously, who needs to listen to that? It should be everyone. We are personally, and that's obviously also one of the reasons why I started the social blind wine tasting. We're living in a funny time, and it's full of selfishness. Everybody looks after themselves, and there is no anymore, I don't know, I remember about 15 years ago where things were slightly different. Yeah, let's be honest. And I'm talking about socializing. I'm talking about look after the person next to you. Even in families, not only between friends and stuff like that, but even family, we should all look a little bit more after each other. And obviously that will improve the whole world if you look at it in a big picture. But imagine Stortford. The social blind tasting is a place where people, they get to know people that are local and they never met before. And that's already beautiful because we are in a small community. But if we care about the people that we have around, that helps even more. There should be no hatred. There should be always support. That's one of the reasons of the blind tasting, support local businesses. So I do work with a business in particular at the moment, but they are open-minded. They are aware of it. They understand my vision. And they say, even if you want to do the same event somewhere else, or you want to support another business, we understand. That's acceptable. We are a small community. I would never say to anyone not to go to eat there. I would explain what my experience has been there, and I would say you may have a better experience or a worse experience, or you never know. But we should always try to look after each other, care a little bit more. That makes everybody's life better, from my point of view.
I agree. And there's something about the eating experience, the drinking experience. You sit down with someone you don't know and you share a meal, you share a glass of wine, share a bottle of wine. At the end of it, you're just that little bit closer. Your opinions might be different, but you'll understand the other person's point of view just that little bit more. And I think it's a great equalizer. And your event, I can totally see how that will introduce new people to each other and create those bonds that help community. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Okay, question 2. This is difficult for you, I know. Where do you go in Bishop Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
Well, I won't tell you. I'm joking. So, okay, there is one guy in, and obviously my answer will be an hospitality place. there is one guy that does something that, from my point of view, is fantastic. The way he does, his passion for it. His name is Emiliano, and he's the owner of Yerolist in It 17.
Okay.
So Yerolist, I'm glad you made that face, because that means you may be not aware of it yet.
No.
I do go there once a week. Like is a must stop for me. The gyros that they do, Greek food, fantastic. But also the fact that the guy welcomes you every day, independently from maybe what is going on in his life, with a smile on the face. Like, that makes my day every time. Like, I know that if I am a little bit upset because something happened at home or stuff like that, I need to go and have a gyros, because I know Emiliano will be there and give me a smile, and I will go like, damn, I think my life is better now. You know, that the food is fantastic. The service is beautiful. The way the guy interacts with you is also very nice. He's super polite. So I think with an even bigger spot, he would be able to do something very beautiful for the town. But for the moment, he has that little place, the spot in 817. And I may see you all there.
That's a great, thing there, isn't it? It's the service over necessary. Like, the food is good, but the service is the thing that might bring you back or make you into a more regular customer. It's a really interesting analysis there, and you know what you're talking about, evidently.
As a consultant for hospitality, I very much focus on the service. Like, okay, the food needs to be good and quality, depending obviously also how much you charge for your food. Like, if you're charging a lot of money, you expect to serve some good food, and unfortunately it doesn't happen everywhere. But then the service is so important, because the service is what will let the person come back, because it doesn't matter what you are doing for the person that you're serving, is what you are for the person that you're serving. So you become, in that moment, the person that is making the guest day, is making that guest experience, is making that guest thinking, okay, I love to be here, I want to come back one more time. Yeah, great food, especially that helps as well. But you want that smile, you want that energy, you want the fact that the staff needs to be always motivated. And that obviously always comes from the top of the company. And that's what I try to deal with. Convince the owners that a good, taken care staff will make sure your guest will come back, certainly, several more times.
Awesome. Okay, question 3. Who's doing something special in town that more people need to know about?
Okay, let me be selfish. I actually think myself. I would say, not myself as a Raffaele Martinelli, but I think social blind wine tasting. This project can actually have a huge impact in the town, but not only in Stortford, of course. It can be replicated in every small little town nearby. We do something very similar in London. The organizer is a very good friend of mine. He's called Jordan Leblanc. He's a French guy. And he organized this blind tasting for all the heads of the industry. So imagine all the big sommelier in town, in London. So you get there the big names. And it's very fun, because obviously you are dealing with all experts, and the conversation, they go very, very long, and the wines brought in, they are outstanding. But then I was like, I can do something similar, but for those that they are wine lovers. So not only wine experts, but wine lovers. And those that they want to have a different Monday night. Monday is a boring day. So if you don't know what to do on a Monday night, and you want to have an unforgettable experience, meet new people, advertise your business if you have a business, and leave a place that you stay there for free with a massive smile on the face, well, you should join the social blind wine tasting.
Wonderful. I think that's such a great idea. I love the community aspect of it and bringing people together. I can only imagine the conversations that happened at the event with loads of sommeliers all together. What's the term for a collective term of sommeliers?
Alcoholic.
An alcoholic of sommeliers. Wow. Okay.
That's what it is. A gathering of sommeliers is all alcoholics together, but they are all certified.
They're certified. They've got certificates, so they're allowed to be. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Raffaele, last time, your website is?
smileandwines.com. I would send that over to you as well, just in case.
Right. We'll put that in the show notes. We'll link to it. All the socials will go out. So if anybody wants to check out that, and for all the services that are available on there, they can do that. Raffaele, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
It was my massive pleasure. Thank you for what you're doing, James, by the way. It's not always only about us. What you're doing as well is fantastic. You gave a voice to people that they will have eventually, or in case, struggle to spread the word around. What you're doing is fantastic. So thank you for supporting our community, as everybody should do.
Well, I appreciate that. My job is easy. I get to shine a light on people that are doing great stuff. So
my job is even easier. I drink wine.
Fair enough. We're both helping. If you enjoyed this episode, the best way to support this show is to follow, leave a quick review on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're watching or listening to this, and then share it on your socials or with someone in town who maybe isn't on social media, so they might be able to listen to all the great things that's happening in Bishop Stortford. And if you've got a local legend, someone that's creating a new business in Bishop Stortford, just like Raffaele, drop me a message or tag them in the comments so I can reach out to them and get them on the show so we can shine a light on the work that they are doing. Again, Raffaele, thank you ever so much for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye. If you run a business built on trust, but your website's full of stock photos and silence, we need to talk. True Tone Testimonials helps coaches, consultants, and other service providers turn real client stories into high-converting video content. No scripts, no fluff, just honest words from real people who already love what you do. They're professionally filmed and ready to drop onto your site or into your socials. Head to truetonetestimonials.card.co. Let your clients do the selling. Okay, support local. Let's get back to the show.